Hello everybody, Septa here, and today I'm going to be platinuming LEGO Marvel's Avengers. Now, I know we've never platinumed a LEGO game before on the channel, so this was kind of a new experience as I have not played a LEGO game since I was a kid. Basically, I'm not going to go too much into the story of this game as it follows a lot of the Marvel movies, so if you really want the in-depth story of this game, just go watch a couple Marvel movies, okay? But the grand premise of this game is it goes over the first Avengers movie and Avengers Age of Ultron, just to let you guys know. And I'm not too into Marvel, so I don't know all the lore. Anyway, let's get straight into it. We start out the mission in, I believe, the opening scene of Avengers Age of Ultron, where they all go to get the staff that Loki has. Basically, his staff has the Mind Stone, and it can trick people's minds and control them. Now, I did a save which actually voids the trophy of the level completion, just to let you guys know. But here I did collect enough studs to get True Avenger, which we have to do in every level. For reaching True Avenger in any level. Now, as I said, guys, since I saved, my trophy for this mission was voided, and later on we are going to have to play through the entire story again to get various collectibles, so I'm not going to go too much into the collectibles side of things because it's literally just picking up random stuff. But the whole point of this first level is, as I said, to get that scepter, and we do end up successfully recovering it. However, in the second mission, which is this one, Loki ends up capturing the scepter from S.H.I.E.L.D., which is the good guys team. And this mission I didn't save, so we actually do get another trophy from this mission, just being the mission name. A Loki entrance for completing a Loki entrance. The next mission afterwards is kind of like Steve Rogers' origin story, I believe, or how he joined the Avengers. I don't know, it was kind of confusing because it went through World War II stuff, but also present day stuff, so it was just confusing. But this trophy, or this mission I also saved in, so we do not get the trophy from this mission. So I will get those when I do my second time playing. But our next mission afterwards was Shakespeare in the Park, where Loki takes the scepter and starts terrorizing people, and we have to go and stop him and attempt to capture him and resecure the scepter. Now, what ends up happening is Thor, which is Loki's brother, if you did not know, ends up coming to also capture Loki because he's going crazy, and he fights Iron Man and Captain America. But he ends up actually joining the Avengers after this moment, and we do end up recapturing Loki. Don't worry though, he will break out once again. Well, I guess he will break out eventually. Shakespeare in the Park. Also, I think I already mentioned it, well, probably mentioned it in editing, but since I used a save terminal on the first and third level, I did not get the trophies for completing those levels. And I said he would break out again for a reason, because in literally the next mission, he breaks out and mind controls even more people to fight us on the helicarrier, which is basically S.H.I.E.L.D. or the Avengers base at this point in time. And he almost destroys the entire thing. Pretty fun mission, and here's that trophy. Helicarrier Havoc for completing Helicarrier Havoc. The next mission takes place in the actual Avengers movie. This is when Thanos's, I forgot what they're called, I think they're called Chitauri or something. They attack New York and set up a portal into space, and basically the Avengers all have to shut it down. Now, we do get an unmissable trophy during this, an iconic point from the movie where Bruce Banner turns into Hulk for the first time, and you also do get a trophy for just turning into the Hulk, which will pop in a second. Always angry for transforming from Banner to Hulk. And then after saving some more civilians, we get to a cool ass cutscene where we get our trophy pop. Avengers Assemble for completing Avengers Assemble. The next mission after this is basically just a continuation of the last mission. We just have to actually shut down the portal, where it shows another iconic movie scene of Tony dropping the nuke into space instead of nuking New York. And that's why I'm not going to go too much into the story, because it's literally almost identical to what the movies show. Earth's Mightiest for completing Earth's Mightiest. Afterwards, we go to the Age of Ultron saga. Now, there's 3 optional missions that were to go in between this. That was for Thor the Dark World, Iron Man 3, and Captain America the Winter Soldier, but I didn't do those just yet because I didn't know that they actually existed, so I will complain about not getting trophies, but that's just my fault. This next mission shows Bruce Banner and Tony creating Ultron, who's like this evil AI, and here's that trophy pop. No strings on me, but literally we are like, I think we skipped like 4 trophies to my knowledge. Like 4 quest trophies did not pop, but like I didn't get any end of mission screens, but like none of the trophies popped, so I don't know if it's working or not gonna lie. In our next mission, we are trying to take out Ultron and kind of stop him from a weapons deal where he gets vibranium, and this doesn't end up working. He still gets the vibranium, and Scarlet Witch, who has like mind control powers as well, tricks Hulk into going freaking crazy, and we have to stop him in Hulkbuster to get this trophy. In our next mission, we have to go also stop Ultron, but this time Scarlet Witch and her brother Quicksilver actually end up joining the Avengers side when they figure out that Ultron isn't actually a good dude and he's actually freaking evil. Career prospects for completing career prospects. After that, we actually move on to the second to last mission, but as I said, I need to still do those 3 optional missions, so I end up doing those before the last mission. But basically, Ultron sends up the city of Segovia, which he plans to crash back down onto the Earth, which would cause like a huge impact and kill everyone, but we end up stopping that and saving a lot of civilians in this mission. Rise of Ultron for completing Rise of Ultron. And as I previously mentioned, now it is time for us to do those 3 other missions. I started out with Thor's mission. Thor was honestly my favorite Avenger when I was a kid, but now low-key I like Iron Man the most. That's why you'll see during the trophy cleanup, I will get like literally every like collectible with Iron Man. Now I just wanted to mention another thing about collectibles. I'm not going into those like at all. They're just so boring. Lost in the Ether for completing Lost in the Ether. Afterward, it was Captain America's turn, where he just kind of fought his friend Bucky, who turned into the Winter Soldier. I also just realized I forgot to mention that for Thor's mission, we pretty much just fought a bunch of Dark Elves. A lot of these missions are just merely combat. Lack of insight for completing Lack of Insight. And finally, it was time to do Iron Man's story, where we fought against these, like, I don't remember the exact plot, but it's like these mutated soldiers, and we had to work with the kid and stuff. It's just a pretty fun mission overall. Ready, Aim, Fire for completing Ready, Aim, Fire. And with that, it is officially time to complete the last mission. This mission was my favorite because it's literally all of the Avengers just teaming up to beat the crap out of Ultron and his other robots. There's tons of collectibles in every level, which I know I'm mentioning this at the end of the story, but basically guys, just to let you know what I'm going to do after this, is just replay every story mode and get all the collectibles. So I'm just going to mention the story trophies as I like go back and get them. And then I will, at the end, after completing all the missions, tell you guys when I get the first and third mission. And then, after killing Ultron and the rest of his robotic companions, Hulk actually just slimes him out right here, and we get our trophy pop for once again saving the day. Ultron Undone for completing the main story of the game. Another set of trophies that I'd like to mention are the character trophies. These are really easy. You literally just have to play with different characters at the same time or like use them. The first one I got was for playing as the Falcon and Captain America in the Washington DC region. On your left for playing as any version of Falcon and any version of Cap while in Washington DC. Now these regions, or the hubs as they're officially called, are basically just areas that you visit in missions, but they're like not a sandbox, but like a free play where you get a bunch of collectibles. Just to let you know, the biggest one is New York, which has like hundreds of collectibles. Also for character trophies, I'm about to get a bunch of them back to back because I realized that by doing the story I had all the characters. This first one's just for using Vision in both character slots. As I said, they're all really easy trophies that you'd really just have to do. Born yesterday for playing as Vision for both characters. Eventually, some character trophies we're actually going to have to go and unlock the characters. That's why after these, there's a huge break before I do any more. Fast and Furious for teaming up Nick Fury and Quicksilver. And don't worry guys, this is our final character trophy for a bit. We're Connected for playing as Harley Keener and Tony Stark in any level other than level 9. Now we do have one last trophy before we go back to completing the main story missions. This was just for visiting every hub in one single play session. As I said, they're just areas with various collectibles, and this trophy isn't very difficult. Globetrotter for visiting all hub locations. This does have to be in one singular play session, by the way. And it is now officially story replaying time, and I'm not going to mention any more about the mission. Struck off the list for completing the first mission in the game. I'm sure I mentioned that I have to replay the levels to get all the collectibles, but I wanted to replay this first mission just because I never got the trophy for the first or third mission. After doing this mission, because replaying the story a couple days after beating it the first time is really boring, I decided to create a custom character for a trophy and then equip him with Mjolnir, which you can do after beating the main story for a trophy. Create a superhero for creating a custom character, and as I said, I equipped him with Mjolnir just so we could get one extra trophy. And be worthy, the trophy I was waiting to pop. This is literally just for making a custom character and then equipping the custom character with Mjolnir. Now guys, we are back to the third mission, which if you remember, I did not get a trophy for the first time, so we will get a trophy this time. And this is the last I'm going to talk about the story until we beat the game. Rail Hydra for completing Rail Hydra, the third mission in the game, which, as I'm sure I mentioned, we are just replaying all the missions to get all the collectibles currently. In between replaying missions, I realized that I had Agent Coulson, and I decided to kill him because you get a trophy for just dying and respawning as Agent Coulson. A magical place for dying and respawning while playing as Agent Coulson. And then I replayed a mission unlocking a different character that you had to do literally the same thing for another trophy. Okay guys, since I got this dude in the last level I completed, I just wanted to kill him to get the Beyond trophy for playing as Aldrich Killian and then dying and respawning. And then after a couple more days of doing missions, I finally collected all the red bricks, which are collectibles that give you abilities, and activated them all for a trophy. Going nowhere for turning on all red brick extras at the same time. And I'm sure I mentioned this, but we officially have cleared out all the collectibles and replayed all the old levels, and we are 70%, well, we have 70% completion. Afterwards, I collected all the mini kits throughout the story, and you had to look at the comics to get another trophy. Perfect Panopticgraphist, I think that's how you say that, for unlocking and viewing all 15 mini kit comic pages. In order to get this trophy, we had to grab 150 different collectibles, and that was so annoying. And then I realized that I could get another character trophy, which I quickly did. Warriors 3 for playing as Fandral, Hogan, and Volstagg in one sitting. Now guys, it is time for the main grind left in the Platinum. We're kind of in the last stage, which is just cleanup, and I headed from hub to hub around the map, doing quests to unlock characters, doing races to unlock vehicles, and doing puzzles to unlock gold bricks. You had to get like 200 something characters and vehicles, and like 250 gold bricks, which was really annoying. And I just grinded those all out at the hubs, and then after I got all of those done, I decided to head to Manhattan as the final area because it has more collectibles than all the other hubs combined. And in Manhattan, you can get these random crimes, and if you do 10 in one session, you actually get a trophy. I did this right here. It's very easy, and I just recommend, like, as soon as you're ready to do the Manhattan collectibles, to immediately go for this trophy, because as I said, it's not difficult. You asked for it, for stopping at 10 random crimes in Manhattan during a single session. Next, we finished the Stanley and Peril collectibles, which were just to save Stanley by doing various puzzles. I didn't mention this, but there was one on each story level, one on each hub except for Manhattan, because Manhattan had way more. And after getting all of his, we unlocked Stan Lee as a character and had to activate a Hulkbuster mode, which, if you didn't know, Stan Lee created a lot of the characters, which is why he is like in the game so much. I am Iron Stan. For transforming into the Hulkbuster variant of Stan Lee, you have to get all 35 Stan Lee and Peril collectibles in order to get this. So this technically is a collectible trophy. As I said, guys, we are in the kind of final collectible like grind, and we basically had to play as a bunch of different characters. So a lot of the trophies we have left are these character trophies. Stiff upper lip for playing as Captain Britain, Union Jack, Spitfire, Agent Carter, and Mandarin. And this next trophy actually is not a character trophy, but the rest will be. Basically, this trophy is for driving Agent Coulson's car as Agent Coulson. He has a mission, like he has various missions around the Manhattan area, and for doing one of his, I don't know if this is a missable trophy or not, but you just have to drive the car as him.
A funny thing happened for driving the car Lola as Agent Coulson.
And then after doing quests to unlock all of the different Moon characters, I played as all of them quickly and got yet another trophy.
Over the Moon for playing as Moon Knight, Moon Dragon, and Moon Boy in one session.
The next trophy was like the others, except you actually had to grow these characters up. I'm not gonna lie, I might be a LARPer, but I don't know who Fing Fan Foon is, one of the characters that we had to use for this trophy. But after growing them all, we do get yet another trophy.
Giant size Marvel for growing Ant-Man, Black Goliath, and Fing Fam Foom in one sitting.
A couple hours later, I unlocked all the characters to get the Young Avengers trophy, which I don't know too much lore about Modern Marvel, but I'm guessing these are going to be the new Avengers.
Young Avengers for playing as Hawkeye, the Kate Bishop version, Hulkling, Wiccan, American Chavez, and Speed in the same session.
And then, honestly, a while later, because it took me forever to find Daredevil's quest, I played as all the Marvel's Defenders characters. They have their own show. I don't even think I watched the show as a kid. I just knew about the various characters. And then, once again, as the other trophies, after playing as all the characters, we get our trophy pop.
Defenders for playing as Iron Fist, Daredevil, Jewel, and Luke Cage.
The next trophy was for playing as this dude, Lou Ferrigno. I don't even know how you say it, but after doing all of his quests, he has like 4 or 5, we unlock him and we can turn into like an off-brand Hulk, and after doing this, we get yet another trophy.
A startling metamorphosis from transforming from Lou Ferrigno to Hulk.
And now for our second to last trophy. This one came like 15 minutes before the platinum pop. This was the last character I unlocked, was actually Iron Man Mark 25. And after playing after playing as all the Iron Man variants in one session, we do get the trophy right here.
House Party Protocol for playing as every Iron Man variant in one session.
And then, like 15 minutes after that, as I said, we got our last gold brick. Now, I did not realize that I had to buy all the vehicles too, but after doing those vehicles, we do get 100%.
Finally, the last freaking collectible of the game, guys. Now I just have to go over and watch the 100% stud fountain, and oh, I probably got to go buy the vehicles. Okay, never mind. So I got to go buy the vehicles, and then I can go get 100%.
And after I previously figured it out, I had to indeed buy all the vehicles and then just head back to the Avengers Tower, where you pull this switch to activate the 100% and get the platinum. So this is Editing Septa signing out.
And I'll do it myself for witnessing the 100% stud fountain. And now time for the platinum. And peace in our time for, well, I guess the platinum trophy for Lego Marvel Avengers. I didn't like this game too much at the start, but I came around to it at the end. And I would like to thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.